Okay, so welcome to the repair video. We're going to look at this Abu Garcia. So if you look back at the picking reels video, I've actually taken the line off. Now sometimes when you spin these, this type of reel has a design vulnerability in that you've got essentially a pin that goes right from the back of the reel right to the front of the reel in which the spool sits. Now if that pin gets bent, all kinds of problems can happen, including chick, which is essentially where there's a wobble introduced because of the bent pin. When this spins around and that's off at an angle, what happens is it chicks on the side of it inside, and it goes chick when you spin it around. So when I'm taking this off, I'm not seeing that any signs underneath here of the spool grating on the reel, because you would see it there too. So I don't think that's the problem. So the next thing to do then is to try and get this off, which means releasing the pin from inside the body of the reel. Now, if I remember rightly, with the 154 you may have to release the actual drum in order to fully get this out. Okay, so to get access to the side plate on the 554, we need to just take this screw out, and that allows the nut to turn. And that does appear to be a left-hand thread. Okay, so this piece here will not come away because you can just see where my finger is there. There's an axle on the spool pin which stops it coming off. But you generally do have to lift it forwards in order to get this part away. The next stage is this little rubber band here is removed from the back of the rail, and then you've got a cross pin, which is similar to other reels actually, but it's just that it happens to be holding the handle on. That comes off, and then that comes off, and there is a little screw on top of there, and by the way, which I didn't show you. You have to take that off too, and then you should be able to get the top off the reel now. Okay, so now that we've lifted those tops off, you can see there's another two screws here. I have to say it is very clever the way that Abu have put these together. I think it does though ignore one of the things that fishermen really like to do, and that's maintain their own equipment. And if you got a position where you simply cannot take a reel apart, then that's difficult, especially on the riverbank. But you wouldn't want to take something like this apart on the riverbank. I think it's too complicated. But having said that, a lot of these reels are much more reliable these days, and I guess the only thing to say about that is that this one clearly isn't, because it's got a bad bearing inside it. If I turn that over, you can see there's a bearing here which actually feels pretty smooth, to be honest. Seems okay. I think it's the head bearing. I think it's this one that's the problem. So that's your little ticker there I was just talking about, and that's kind of plastic riveted on you. You can't really take that off. There's no real advantage to doing so anyway. Okay, so to release the spool pin, to get the top off here, you would undo that screw and take the cam rider off. But first I'm going to just say this is one of the bearings that supports the handle, so put it in between your fingers like that and just run it. And if it feels smooth, then it's a good one. If you feel any sort of graveliness or grunginess, then you need to replace it. Okay, so you see how that came out? Lift it up and twist back. Now you can see the spool pin just comes straight out. You can see it going out there, and you just see the other end of it coming out. There you go. And that's still got the nut on it, so that means the head of your reel now comes off. That all looks in good order, but we'll give that a strip down as well. So I'm just turning this bearing. It's absolutely dreadful. Right, that part is known as the cam rider. In theory that should just come out, but it is a bit stuck. It's not having it. Right, so here we've got a screw, and that has to come off first, I think. So I have another bearing just here, so again, run it around your finger. You feel any grunginess, it has to be replaced. So now that we've lifted that off with a screw, we can now lift this off, and again you see there's a bearing here, so run that around with your finger and it's pretty smooth, so we'll just keep that one. So that's a tight fit, but it's not that tight, and you can move it with a screwdriver, so don't forget to check it. It does seem okay, that actually. Right, so this assembly here, this is the suspect area where this is where the main bearing, the head bearing is, and it's also where the brake for the reel is, the reversing brake. So we're going to have to take this apart carefully because there are some very small parts in it. Okay, so we're going to begin by, if you just see in the centre there are two springs. There's a little one and quite a strong looking one. So they're part of the anti-reverse mechanism, and we're going to begin by taking those off. And they can fly across the room, so you have to be careful. I'm also going to take the lever off, where you can see the screw head there. Okay, now they're off, we've then got 3 screws here, which need to be removed. Okay, so with those removed and the cover removed, there you go. We can now do is just gently pull this, and it comes out. So it's important not to lose any of the pieces, otherwise your reel will never work again. Now you can actually see from the top of the bearing there, you can just see below my finger there, there's a lot of sort of red rusty bits. And I suspect that that's really what's going on here. And if you turn the bearing, yeah, it feels kind of gravelly. That's not good. So that bearing pushes out and there's a little washer on top of it. So now I need to go and see if I've got one of these, otherwise I'll have to do something else. Go and order one maybe or something like that. And that's why our reel was making a racket.